What is going on, guys? My name is 4G. So today I wanted to make a quick video talking about the big thing that a lot of people are going over when it comes to Fortnite OG potentially being replaced by the Chapter 2 map once we get past Season X. Now, I want to say that I do not personally believe that this is how it's going to work. I'm not saying that Chapter 2 won't make a return necessarily, but I don't think it will be replacing the OG map. Now, what am I even talking about when it comes to this? I'm talking about the leak that's been going around where the Marvel season, specifically the Chapter 2 Season 4 season, will actually be making a return in 2027. I'm sure it still won't have the original Battle Pass skins. Those are still going to be locked to 2020 for whatever reason. I could just keep making videos about that, honestly. I just have so much to keep rambling about that. But regardless, that's not what this video is for. The point is, this leak that's been going around that so many people are talking about and sharing just doesn't make sense to me. Not only that, but the leak of Fortnite OG switching over to Chapter 2 in Fortnite Chapter 7. And the reason this does not make sense to me is how Epic Games has advertised the OG mode for this entire time, especially when it first released. So if we look back at any of their blog posts or any of their tweets, they specifically say the OG mode is permanent. Now, that is very important because they also specify that it's the OG map that is returning or has returned with this mode. It does not say anywhere about any other map. They specifically say the OG map in this situation. Now, if you look at the Chapter 2 remix posts, they do not say anything about OG. Not only that, but the actual logo for Fortnite OG, based off of the OG Fortnite Battle Royale logo. This is all supposed to be Chapter 1 themed. This is not supposed to be Chapter 2. I don't know why everybody all of a sudden, I mean, I don't think it's everybody. I just think it's the vocal minority, but regardless, I don't know why there's so many people talking about this moving over to Chapter 2. If you want Chapter 2, that is great. I do think that there is a place for that. I think that they should just make an entirely separate mode. I don't think you need to replace the OG mode. I see people saying that it's boring if they just keep going in a cycle for the OG season. If they go back to Season 1, for an example, which, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the idea of that because I'm not gonna lie, the first 3 seasons are kind of boring, but beyond that, it gets really good, and I do want them to return. But anyways, people are saying it's gonna be boring if they just keep cycling the Chapter 1 seasons, but I just don't understand that take because don't play it if you're not interested in it. If that doesn't interest you, then clearly this mode isn't targeting you. If you want something that's new and fresh, you can play Battle Royale, Fortnite Reload, Blitz, a million different creative games that you could play. There's so many different things in this game that you could play. This might be a hot take in the community because that's what I see in the Fortnite community. It's just the total opposite. It's everybody saying that they want to see Chapter 2 replace OG, and I just disagree with that. We finally got the OG map back permanently. This is what we all asked for. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us, including myself, asked for this mode to be permanent when the original Fortnite OG season was released back in November 2023. Epic Games listened. We got it. It just doesn't make sense for them to then completely replace it. The game mode might not be the most popular, but it definitely has more than enough players. It is still a pretty popular mode that they're going to still consistently update it. Well, update it into whatever the next season is supposed to be. But I just can't see them completely removing this mode when the OG mode is a big reason why a lot of people actually made a return to Fortnite. So many people don't want to play Fortnite anymore because the game is not only constantly changing, and it makes it so that you don't actually want to learn what the game is at this point. Like, I'm in that same position. I don't even know what the most recent season is because I don't care. I keep seeing things about bugs and stuff. I don't even know what any of that means because I am just tired of dealing with all the crazy mythics and all that stuff. And not only that, but you learn them, and then the next season it's completely different. You have to learn a whole bunch of other stuff, and that's great for the people who like that kind of thing, but there's a lot of people like myself who don't like that kind of thing. And that's why we go and gravitate towards Fortnite OG, because you know what it's going to be. We've played these games before, and it's pretty much the exact same to how it was. It's simple, and it's everything we've been asking for. And it's even better because now we have the option of playing a more complex mode, like the newest Battle Royale or Reload or whatever it might be, or we can play the simplistic OG mode. So if you remove that and you replace that with Chapter 2, where we now have a little bit more complexity. Okay, Chapter 2 is not so complex that it's like Chapter 6, for an example, with all the stuff that they add. It's not that bad, but with mythic items and with vaults and henchmen, all of that complicates the game more, and it just isn't what OG players want to play, which is the whole point of this mode. Now, another reason I don't think they're actually going to full-on replace it is because they're already spending the time to completely change all the weapons back to how they were in that time. Why would they change up the pump, change up the SCAR model, and also while doing that, listening to the community when it comes to a lot of stuff, when it comes to the accuracy? I mean, not everything, of course. It's not perfect, and they still have bots in the game for whatever reason, but there's a lot of great stuff that they have done. They just did all that, and they're just going to throw it out. I don't really think that's going to happen, and I think these leakers are misunderstanding whatever this leak is that they're getting. I don't know what their source is. I don't even know if it's accurate. I'm just going off of it because a lot of the stuff that they say is accurate, so I'm going to go based off of that. But even when it is an accurate leak, it's not always 100% as it's portrayed. Where right now, they're saying it's Fortnite OG that is going to be the thing that is going to Chapter 2. I just don't think so. I think they're going to go to a completely different mode, and if that's not the plan already, I think that's what they should do, because I believe that it's a massive mistake to bring back OG, advertise it, have a pretty healthy player base, regardless of what people think that Fortnite OG is dead. It's just not, but whatever. And then just throw it out and bring Chapter 2 in to replace it, which is just not the same thing. Not only that, but I know a lot of people have nostalgia for Chapter 2, specifically Chapter 2 Season 2, because that was the era where everyone was at home and they had nothing better to do, so they were just playing Fortnite and stuff. The majority of that chapter was not that good, in my opinion, okay? Do you really want to play Chapter 2 Season 6 again? Season 5, there was nothing interesting about that season, okay? Other than, okay, Butter Barn. That was it. I'll give them that. The Butter Barn. That was a nice POI. I just don't think that this is the solution to bringing back the Chapter 2 map, to get rid of the Chapter 1 map again. We've already done this. How many times are we going to do this? We already did this back in 2019. We replaced the Chapter 1 map with the Chapter 2 map, and I still think that that was a mistake, because the Chapter 1 map is far more interesting. It actually has biomes, and it just feels like a better, more fleshed out map, which is crazy, because you would think it being the first map, it was rushed, and it should not be the best map, but it, in my opinion, is. Some of the new maps are actually pretty good. I like the Chapter 4 map, for an example, but I would actually rather see a Chapter 4 OG, but even then it's not OG. Like, that's how ridiculous it is to me, saying that Chapter 4 is OG just because it's old at this point, a few years old. That's what Chapter 2 is. It's not OG, it's not original, it's just old. That's it, which I think, again, is fine. I think that they could make a Chapter 2 mode with just Chapter 2. I think it can live alongside a Chapter 1 mode. Maybe not, but even if that was the case, well, then you can deal with it later. But completely replacing the OG mode, it just doesn't make sense to me, because in the current situation, everybody wins. People who've wanted the map back for so long, we have that. You want a small map, you can play Reload. You want to play something brand new but a regular Battle Royale, you have the Battle Royale mode. Everybody wins in the current scenario. I don't think replacing it with something that is increasing the complexity into an era of the game that is not OG is the way to go. I'd much rather them continue Chapter 1 and just mix and match seasons or something. Do something like that if they're not going to just cycle back to Season 1, rather than them replacing it with Chapter 2. Anyways, that is going to wrap up this video. What do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you guys enjoyed this video, a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new here and you like videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.